All right, so my oils are cooled down and my lye is cooled down. I'm gonna go ahead and mix the two together. Now, when I mix my lye with my liquid, I always wear gloves, goggles, mask, and I go outside because it's better ventilated than in my house. But I do have a sensory problem with my hands, so that's why you'll see me mixing the lye with the soap batter without any gloves. My hands tend to fall asleep and I can lose grip of my stick blender and make a huge mess. I did it before in the beginning. I had been soaping for a while. I am extremely careful, but I want you guys to use the safety precautions that you feel are necessary for you. But I wanted to explain why you might not see me wearing gloves while I mix my soap batter. Again, I'm extremely careful and I do know the risks, but I choose to go ahead with my passion anyway. So today we're going to use fresh baked bread fragrance oil and home for the holidays. I'm going to use an ounce of each, and we're going to make sure that it doesn't rice the soap, that it doesn't accelerate trace, that it doesn't seize my batch, that the colors hold up, and of course that the scent holds up. So you might want to turn your volume down right now because I'm going to go ahead and mix my lye in with my oils, and I'm going to stick blend for a little bit, and that can tend to get pretty loud. I am soaping at room temperature. My oils and lye were about 75 degrees. I find when you soap at a lower temperature that it doesn't accelerate trace as much. Go ahead and add my coconut milk. I apologize about that. I didn't realize that my camera stopped working. So of course, I haven't even added anything. My soap's already set up because I was trying to fix the camera. That's okay though. We will work with it. So I'm going to split the soap into 2 batches. I'm going to add my colorant, then I'm going to add my fragrance. This is what happens when you let your soap sit because you're trying to figure out camera problems. But we should be okay. Put this over in my sink. This over in my sink. Alright, so I'm going to do green and white, and I'm going to attempt to do a swirl. We might end up just plopping everything into the mold. But there goes my titanium dioxide. And here comes my, green mica. And as organized as you can be will be the best way to do soap. Sometimes you'll be super organized and it still just doesn't work out. So I'm just going to mix my green colorant into my batter. Now again, I haven't added the fragrances yet. I like to add them last, just in case they want to act up on me and I have to get them into the mold quickly. But it just looks like my recipe moved a lot faster than I thought it would. So that's why we got to get it into the mold quickly today. Then I'm going to mix up the white. Oh, there goes my titanium dioxide all over the counter. Oh well, I'll have to clean that up. It wasn't soap batter, it was just the titanium dioxide coming out. I might have to stick blend that in. Grab some paper towels just to wipe that up off. So I'm still getting used to doing these continuous videos. Some people asked if I could attempt to do them, and I figured a way on how to prop up my iPhone, but I'm still getting used to all of it, as you can probably tell. This is very amateurish. I hope y'all bear with me. I'm just going to stick blend a little bit to mix up this TD. I gotta work really fast right now. There we go. It is thickening up quite a bit. Quite a bit. All right, so I'm adding the full ounce of Home for the Holidays, hope you can see that, to the green portion. And a full ounce, of fresh baked bread to the white portion. And it's amazing how good this stuff smells. It really is. As I said in plenty of videos, Indigo fragrance never, ever, ever disappoints me. So far so good. The fresh baked bread I just put in, and it, when you first put it in, it turns it a little yellow, but it looks like it's coming back to the white creaminess. See if you can see that. It turned it a little yellow at first, but once I incorporated it, it came back to the white, little creamy white that I wanted. But there's no ricing, and it, you know, my soap was already setting up, so if it accelerates trace even more, you know, we'll work with it. But so far so good. Has not done that. And for the green, it's holding up beautifully. See if you can see the colors. Holding up really, really nicely. All right, now I have my mold already. I'm kind of just gonna do plops since it kind of set up really fast on me. Oops. I wanted to do a really pretty swirl, but since I had camera misfunctions, then we're gonna have to just work with what I got. And I have an extra mold set aside for leftover batter. But the colors are really pretty. I have some embeds here that I'm gonna place on top once I get this all squared away to the way I want it. Again, there was no ricing, and it didn't accelerate the soap. The soap was already setting up, and it didn't accelerate that any further, which is good. I'm just using a little, oh sorry, I keep getting these in the way. I'm using a little kebab skewer, and I'm just swirling the soap to try and attempt to make some type of swirl. I'm going to add a little more white on top. Oh, it smells divine. It smells really, really good. And a little more green. And I'm going to just see, what I love about soap making is that you can just be so creative with what you want to do. Now, what I'm going to do with that is just clean up the sides a little bit. Again, everything held up beautifully. The remainder I'm going to put in these little heart molds that I have here. And I use them for my samples. I cut them up into little, not even ½ inch, maybe a ¼ inch slices, and I use them for little samples. I'm going to take my skewer again and just swirl the top. Make a really pretty swirl on top. You can be very random, or you can be very calculated on how you want to design your soaps. I like random. I find it comes out a little more artistic. So here is the top portion. Oh, it just looks so pretty to me. And now what I'm going to do, sorry, I'm going to set my camera back up on its little stand here. Sorry. See, I'm still getting used to all this. I'm going to add to the top here some of these little embeds that I made. And we'll just place them down into the soap like that. It's kind of making it overflow a little bit, but we can clean that up. Such pretty Christmas colors. And it really does. It smells like my mom's house at Christmas time. So let me just clean up the sides here. And then I can show you again what it looked like. And I better move and get that other stuff placed into my molds. You know what, I'll show you guys in just a second. Let me get this put into my molds here that I have leftovers of, so that way we don't waste any soap or fragrance for that matter. Yeah. This recipe is what set up quickly. It had nothing to do with my colorants or fragrance oils. It was the recipe itself and the fact that I had some camera trouble. So we'll just have to work with it. But it's nice and creamy. So I think this is going to turn out just fine. It looks like the colors held up beautifully. I'm just going to swirl this a little bit. I like my samples to mimic somewhat of my full-size bars, so people really get a true feeling of what they could purchase. You know, sometimes people don't like to commit to the $5, $6 bars, so I like to make sure they have a sample that they can try, and 9 out of 10 times they come back. So now that I rushed and did all that, these are my little, I'll cut them up into little samples to sell. Actually, I slice them up into about 1/4 inches, and I sell my samples for $1. So, you know, my motto is someone will always buy something for $1. And then this is the Home for the Holidays and Fresh Baked Bread soap that I did with a green and white swirl and red embeds on top. And it really does remind me of my mom's house at Christmas time. It smells so good in here. So we're going to set this aside. Usually it's a good 18 to 24 hours. And then I'll come back and shoot a video of me cutting it and let you guys see how it looks. Thanks for watching so far.